Hello everybody, welcome to the channel Lightworkers Together. This is Val. I hope you all are having a wonderful day. I wanted to come on and talk about something really briefly because it's kind of come up for me a couple of times, and it may be something that some of you are dealing with at this time too, so this might be helpful, I hope. But it's when we a lot of times are on the spiritual journey, most of our focus is on that. It's not on our physical self, but it's all together. It's like the physical body is the temple, and it holds all of that beautiful energy, that beautiful heart, that soul, everything. So we have to sort of incorporate everything together, and we have to notice. So this video is about how to listen to your body, because your body will tell you things, and this has helped me on my journey. So sometimes when we're healing things, we can notice patterns, right? And these patterns may have more to do with your physical self, right? And you can sometimes question, like, where is this coming from? Why do I have this pattern or cycle or whatever repeating? And it can be different for everybody. For me, I had one, I'll tell you about one, and this is one that was like brought up to me, and this was something that needed healing. While I was working on my healing, and I was doing all that, and I noticed that when I got to the point where I healed some things that were not just from this lifetime, but from past lifetimes, and they were things to do with trauma and physical abuse. There was a pattern in my life that I had noticed from very early on. And one of those things was I had a habit of, when I would get into a stress mode, when I would get into a mode of anxiousness, or if somebody kind of started getting too close to me, I would do these cycles of this eating behavior, which was really, really bad. Excuse me, I'm trying to get comfy in the car. I'm back and forth with my storage, so excuse my kind of a little bit of a mess here. But anyway, I did want to share this with you and just say, like, I could see the progression of this, how I had a cycle that was like how they say a lot of people, you have comfort food, or there's things that you do. And it was very unhealthy for me, and I kept trying to break it. And I noticed over the years, I would try, and I wasn't awake at that time, so I would try every kind of outside thing, right, outside of myself, to try and break it, just having my strong will and doing it. And I never could, because when I would get back into those situations, which would trigger me from something unhealed, I would continue the cycle over and over and over again. And I noticed just recently, it was kind of cool. It was actually this morning. I was sitting at the table having my coffee, and I was like, I actually don't do that anymore. I broke that cycle, and it almost happened subconsciously, but it is something that can help with our healing. I feel like definitely, like, if you can notice like a pattern or a cycle or something that's going on with your physical body, chances are, a lot of times, most of the time, it stems from something that is not healed, that needs healing. And a lot of times when we heal that, it will automatically correct itself. And sometimes once we heal something, it may not automatically correct it, but it will take the need for it away. So let's say, like now, if I have a day where I feel a little more the level of, external stresses and things that are going on, because my life is kind of crazy right now, but I have faith. I know everything's gonna work out for the best. But anyway, what I do now is I will go for a long walk, or I will sit and meditate. And I just started doing those things automatically when I would feel those stressors coming in. Instead of like going and getting something to eat, like back in the day, I'm telling you what, I could wolf down a half a gallon of ice cream like that. It was really bad. And part of it was I was building a shield around myself, because I did not want anyone to touch me or to come near me. So in my mind, subconsciously, again, I wasn't consciously doing this, but I was kind of creating this armor around myself in my physical body, my physicality, to kind of protect myself is really what it was. And then when I finally got to the point where I healed those things and realized I no longer need that armor, that cycle broke, which was awesome. It was this morning. It's so funny sometimes when you heal things, and I know if anyone wants to comment, I know other people probably have been through this and they've noticed the same things after you do healing on certain things, and suddenly some very unhealthy cycles that you had going, which were really kind of like an ego protection type of thing that was going on. It was really just something you were subconsciously internally doing to protect yourself. And then when you get to the point where you've healed something and you also have built yourself up enough that you have, boundaries in place and all those kinds of things, then you're not walking around with those layers of trauma and pain and fear and stuff which cause those cycles to happen. So it just occurred to me while I was sitting there and I was thinking about it, we listen to our body, when we're hungry. And it's like, I thought, we get into this cycle. It's a societal thing of, you eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You do this, this, and this. And I finally was like, I'm just kind of departing from everything. And I'm just going to listen to my body. And it's going to tell me, when I'm hungry, I'll eat something. But I'm not just going to get into a habit of doing things I don't need to do. Likewise, if there's something going on unusual with yourself, a lot of times you can sit and you can meditate and you can come up with whatever it is that might be causing that. And 9 times out of 10, there's no external reason. It's an internal thing. Now, I do want to put this disclaimer out there. I'm not a medical. I have worked many years in pharmacy, guys, so I've seen some stuff. But that's, not great for people. But I'm not a medical doctor. So always, whatever you have going on with you, seek medical advice if that's what you want to do. You need to, the whole point, I guess, of what I'm trying to say with this is we need to, when we're tuning into our spiritual self, we need to also tune into our physical self, because it's all part of the package. And that's something I think I always thought of separately, right? And it isn't. It's together, and it's weaving those things together that gives us that wholeness. You know what I mean? When you come through and you do notice that as you're healing things, you get healthier, you feel better, because so many of those kind of very unhealthy cycles that we do are based on things that are not healed. So it's one of the reasons why, as a healer, this is so paramount for me, and to get this information out. I was, meditating about this big time this morning, and I was like, every time I learn something, I just want to share it, because if it helps even one person, if there's one person out there that may be going through something similar, maybe this will help them. So if you notice patterns or cycles within yourself and in your life that are unhealthy, a lot of times you can trace it back to some kind of pain, trauma, or something. And then that gives you an idea of what to focus on for healing. And then once you heal it and you release it, like I said, in my case, it just kind of went away on its own. My conscious body was able to let it go, because my heart, my soul, spiritually, I was able to release it, and then I replaced it. So it's not like you never will feel stress or anxiety or anything again. We're human. Welcome to the current world. All changing though for the better, guys. All changing for the better, but we're going to feel those things. So, but what was cool about it, and then I noticed, is that I had, without even thinking about it, not a conscious thought, I had replaced that unhealthy cycle with very healthy things instead. So I just want to say, just when you have time to listen to your body, because it will tell you what it needs. Like, it tells us when we're hungry, when we're thirsty, when we're sleepy. And that's another thing, is when you're on that healing journey, it's so important to listen to your physical self as well as your intuition, your spiritual self, to listen to your physical self, because it is part of our self-care. So if you are doing all of this, you're doing a ton of energetic work, and then you're also doing a ton of work in the physical world, which most of us are, your physical being needs to be heard. We need to hear, when I get, like, I was even saying to my father the other day, I'm like, once upon a time, I have all this massive stuff I'm doing, trying to clear out of storage and get all these other things done. And it's like, before I would have just pushed myself so hard like a machine and not had care. And yesterday I had been doing hours of work. I went out and did my walk and stuff, and then I could feel myself getting tired, and I was like, okay, let me listen, just really listen to my body. It's telling me that's enough. That's enough for today. It's time to stop and pick it up tomorrow. So please do remember to love and care for yourself like you do for the people in your life whom you love very much, because a lot of times we forget about doing that for ourselves. So be aware of any cycles and kind of look on them, not in a negative way, but as that's your being that has been trying to kind of protect you maybe from some things, and that is a good way to kind of look back and see what needs to be healed, and then also to stand in a place of self-care and self-love and listen to your body, and when you need, water to drink, when you need to eat something, when you need to take a rest, when you need just sleep, right? Or something anti-stressing, like go for a walk in the woods, which always works for me. But for you, it can be whatever, Some people love doing like puzzles or something that kind of helps just put them in that state. Like I like to cook and bake. That's like very soothing to me. So for everybody, it's going to be different. But I did want to share that to give ourselves permission to take the time to listen to our physical body. You know what I mean? Because it will give you not just hints about caring for yourself, which is so important, but it will also give you hints and tips about things that may need to be healed and cleared. And you might even just stop and do like I did and be like, wow, I healed something, and I just noticed I broke that cycle. I broke that pattern, which was very unhealthy, and, have replaced it with something which is very good for me. So I did want to share this information, and I hope it's helpful to somebody. I did mention I'm going to be working on my book when I get time. Things are a little nuts right now. But when I get time, I'm going to be working on a book which is going to kind of compile all of this stuff together. And I'm going to put... I'm putting it out to the universe. The universe is going to help me just get it out there to everybody. So anybody who would need that information, it would be available to them, even if I have to come on the channel and like read a couple pages every day or whatever, so everybody can have access to it. That's what I would like to do, because that's kind of that once you, and I see this with so many others who just in everyday life, or others who are on their channel, when you learn something that can be helpful, you want to share it with others. You want that to be of service to others. So that's why I thought I would come on and share that today, because I had the epiphany this morning and I was like so excited for myself. And that's the other thing you can do. You can just pat yourself, give yourself a hand, pat yourself on the back, because it's big. It's, to the outside world or others around you, it may not be like really noticeable, but for yourself, and especially if it's been a lifetime of doing it, that's a big deal. It's a big deal. So just know that I am standing in your corner and I am cheering you on. Like whatever you're going through, whatever healing, self-care you need to do, or whatever on your journey, I am cheering you on, and I am standing in solidarity with you. So I'm going to leave it here. I hope everyone's having gorgeous weather. This is the Memorial. If you're in the United States, this is Memorial weekend, so everybody's out barbecuing. I'm just glad the weather's been really, really great. I'm going to leave it there. If anybody has any questions or comments, please leave them. I'm trying to check like every other day because I'm kind of scary mobbed with stuff right now. But when I get the ping to get on here and share something, I'm most definitely going to do it. So sending you all love, peace, and unity. Please stay safe, stay well, and I will talk to you again soon. Keep shining.